Previously in the Goth household. Cassandra Goth and Don Lothario got married on the Goth family estate, and Don moved in with her. He was promptly booted out, however, when Cassandra caught him cheating with both Nina Caliente and her own mother, Bella Goth. She then called over Darren Dreamer to try and tell him that she thought she may be pregnant due to the couch tryst she'd had with him after witnessing Don's betrayal. While cooking a pot of Grandma's comfort soup for them, a devastating fire erupted, burning down half the kitchen and putting any conversation about her condition on hold. Right after the firefighters conquered the flames, Cassandra popped with her very first baby bump. The next day, she adopted a furry friend named Rudy. She invited Darren over again, not only to meet Rudy, but also to finally explain to him that she most definitely was pregnant and that the baby was his. Perhaps Darren already knew though, for as soon as he arrived to the manor, he autonomously proposed to Cassandra, leaving and angrily stalking Don to eat his heart out in the distance. Unfortunately, Cassandra began having some pregnancy complications, and Darren and his son Dirk moved into the manor with her to help her through her difficult times. Darren then managed to get on the headmaster's good side and got Dirk into private school, fulfilling a big want for his son. That very night, while eating some cranberry nut bread, Cassandra went into labor and had a little baby boy she named Damian. Cassandra's finally started that big family unit she always wanted, but can she actually handle it? Hey all, and welcome back to Season 2 of my Let's Play Pleasantview series. I am so sorry for the delay on this one, but I'm excited to finally bring it to you. Today, in episode 13, we are going to be returning for the final time this round to the Goth family manor, where Darren, Dirk, and now little Damian now reside. How will this new family unit cope with a baby in the household? Will there be another wedding in Cassandra's near future? Spooky Day is right around the corner, so Cassandra better bust out those pumpkins and call up those guests for a legendary Goth Spookfest as the final day of autumn approaches. Let's get in there and start playing. Here we are, back for the final time this round in the Goth family mansion. The last time we saw them, Cassandra had just given birth to her little baby boy Damian right in the middle of the kitchen, which is where we left them. And I, for one, cannot wait to see what they're up to. So, let's go ahead and see what's happening. What? Wait a minute. Cassandra? Cassandra? Where is your mama, little man? Sleeping peacefully in bed, of course. Well, she does have a lot of rest to make up for. Still, little baby Damian cannot just sleep on the cold, hard kitchen floor, so... Sorry, Darren, but it's gonna have to be you.
What? Lababatin. flame. Esos هنا بلدي وين الزين بواب ودلبو.
While Darren waits patiently for the repairwoman, Cassandra awakes upstairs and heads straight up to the uppermost room to care for her newborn baby boy. She was so tired last night that she barely even had a chance to hold him. But now, with at least a little bit of rest in her, she can finally get a good look at him. And what a sight he is. Damian is going to be the spitting image of his mother when he grows up. But that is a long time away, and right now, Cassandra has other things to worry about, like this tiny tot's grumbling little tummy. Down she goes with Damian in arm to fetch him a nice, comforting bottle, which he immediately latches onto. Soon, it's time to disconnect him. Ah, I love that sound. Meanwhile, Darren and Dirk have decided to watch themselves a movie. And on this, the spookiest of spooky days, what better movie than Werewolf? But Cassandra is missing out on howling creatures of the night. It's babysitting bath time. The repairwoman arrives right in the middle of Cassandra and Damian's mommy-son bath bonding time. And soon, Damian is swung up, swaddled, and ready to be returned to his comfy crib. Even though Cassandra would love to spend more time with him, there is something she must do today. There are only 2 more days of autumn, and that means that today is Spooky Day, a Goth family tradition. And she, as the eldest Goth in the manor now, must uphold its traditions. The repairwoman has done her duty and is heading on out, which means it's now time for Darren to call up the babysitter. I'd be happy to take care of your little ones. Just so you know, my fee is 10 simoleons and then an additional 15 simoleons per hour. If you'd like, I can keep track of your schedule in my calendar so that I can always be there for your kids when you can't be. Did you want me to go ahead and set that up? Or did you just want to hire me just for now? While we definitely could consider a nanny in the future, for the moment, we'll only be hiring her for a single night. And just like that, the nanny is on her way. She arrives in record time. A little old lady looking mighty cute in her new default replacements. You'd think, of course, that Darren and Cassandra would want to meet the person that's going to be watching over their new baby, but no. They have other things on their mind. Who am I kidding? With ACR, this is one of the only things on their mind. Well, hurry it up, guys. We need to get this day underway. No, not that! Anything but that! Well, it's happening again, guys. It's happening again. I smell back-to-back pregnancies.
Yeah! Ooh. Yeah.
And I'm right. She's pregnant. Again. Oh, don't you look so smug, Cassandra. Well, the deed has been done, so up with you, Darren. He's trying to get in those Z's before it's too late. I managed to ease him out of bed and into the living room to call up the taxi for himself, Cassandra, and Dirk. Having been a good friend of hers for years, he knows how much this day means to Cassandra, and he's so happy that he and his son are finally a part of it. Soon, the taxi comes and... Oh, hi, Don. How you doing? Not too good, huh? Not to worry, the newfound family walks right past him without even batting a lash, much to Don's dismay, and soon he becomes just a mere speck in the taxi's rear-view mirror. See you later, Don. Here they are at the Pleasantview Pumpkin Patch, run by the lovely Mirabelle Mist. Who's just someone I threw in here until somebody from the neighborhood decides to run the patch. Yeah. To fetch some pumpkins for Spooky Day. The first thing Cassandra decides to do is to rake the leaves, of course. Meanwhile, Dirk is going to go light up the bonfire and sit on this chilly evening by the warm glow of the flames. Even Lilith has decided to come check out Mirabelle's gourds, and she quickly scuttles over to make a sale. Lilith takes to it. Score one for Mirabelle. Cassandra has decided to relinquish the rake and get down to business. She's taking her pick and choosing the best pumpkins Mirabelle has to offer. She then waits patiently for Mirabelle to ring her up. Patiently, that is, until Mirabelle actually starts ringing her up. Ah, that face. The face of pissy customers everywhere. A cashier's worst fear. Finally, her items are rung up, and Cassandra pays for her pumpkins with a wad of that juicy goth fortune. She then journeys through the corn maze to find her true love lost within. Her serenade starts a little too early. But Darren is oh so smitten either way. Dirk also seems to have found Lilith and makes some smooth moves. Cassandra, what the... Well, Cassandra has taken it upon herself to pick the lady's corn. Cassandra, this is borderline theft. What are you doing? The same thing again, that's what. That'll learn me. Alright, I'm putting a stop to this. Now that Cassandra has her pumpkins, it's time for them all to go home and set up for the big night ahead.
Have so lemon. I just do here. If la, she was here, bro. If not that.
They return to see Don hurrying off of their property, but surprisingly, no newspaper was seen in his grubby little phalanges this time. They all head inside, with Dirk running ahead to avoid the petulant pooch that's been plaguing him. And Darren finds the nanny to thank her for her time and to bid her farewell.
Pushka.
Sul.
She walks right past the harrowing hound completely unfazed, and he begins singing the song of the wild. It's quite fitting for this night, really. Sundown turns to complete darkness, and it's almost time for the festering festivities to begin. But not before the manor receives a much-needed haunted makeover. The decorations are up, the food is out, and it's time for Cassandra to choose her guests. She's even going to invite Bella, simply because she is a goth, not to mention the one who spurred on her love of Spooky Day to begin with when she was just a little tot. Whether or not she actually speaks to her is up for debate. The guests are all invited. Break out the refreshments and the latest tunes. It's party time. Cassandra's guests don't take long to pile into the mansion, ready for a night of drinking and dancing and dubious distractions. Cassandra tends to her guests by turning on the stereo and readying all the tasty autumnal foods a Sim could ever want. Even though she can't partake herself, she even prepares some drinks in case anyone decides to get a little dazed at the party. Everyone seems to be getting along just fine, but that doesn't last long. And soon enough, the fights start breaking out. First up, ex-wife Bella and new wife Dina. Next up, it's Lilith and Dirk's friend Melody Tinker, who, unfortunately, have become enemies. After Lilith and Melody's smackdown, Lilith decides she needs to unwind with a nice woohoo with Dirk, who's already waiting for her conveniently in his bedroom. Both sets of parents are completely oblivious to the goings-on upstairs, all instead in the dining room indulging in some spooky treats and tasty turkey. Well, at least there's no fighting right now. That doesn't seem to matter much, however. The damage is already done, and as Dirk and Lilith shuffle around under the blankets, a siren begins to blare from the street outside the manor. The cops have been called, and the non-existent fun is now over. Okay, this party is too loud. Let's break it up, people. Well, this sucks. Not only did the cops stop the party, but absolutely no one had a good time. This will be a smudge on the Goths' good name for years to come. The cop begins herding them all out of the house and down the steps, making sure absolutely no guest is left behind. And so ends Spooky Day. Ghastly in more ways than just one. Oh well, there's always next fall for Cassandra to redeem herself. And what's more, she'll have a whole year to think about how to make it the biggest, grandest spooky day of them all. But for now, it's bedtime for the family. Tomorrow happens to be another big day. Something Cassandra has been looking forward to. Perhaps even more than Spooky Day itself. While they sleep, I'm just going to quickly take down all of these decorations and store them for next year's big party. Gone but not forgotten, the house is now back to its old Gothic glory. Although everyone has just settled in for a nice restful sleep until the morning, things don't work out as planned. Up you are again, Darren. Poor guy. Cassandra has also woken up with a case of the nighttime pregnancy munchies, so we are going to send her on down to the kitchen for a late night snack. You're never going to guess what she grabs out of the fridge. Just kidding. It's bread. But this is her life now. The life of bread. At least it fills her and keeps her hunger up. Besides, this is the final day of fall, so she better get that pumpkin and cranberry nut in now while she still can. Since everyone in the household has now been woken up by screaming baby Damian, they've decided to start the day early and start getting ready. Darren soaks in a nice, relaxing bubble bath. and Cassandra pukes up all that delicious bread and starts to smell her pits. She does not like what she smells. Into the shower you go, Cass. Even Dirk is up, showered, and dressed before sunrise. And by mid-morning, all the members of the household are ready to go. Today is the big day. Darren and Cassandra are getting married. Cassandra calls up the nanny again, while Darren calls the rest of the family members a taxi. But before it arrives, both Dirk and Lilith, and Cassandra and Darren attempt to throw in a quick woohoo, again, to get all their anxieties out now. Too late though, the taxi is here to take them all to their autumnal wedding destination. Out first, the cat, because he is by far the most responsible party in the manor. Next is Dirk, and last but not least, after an extremely long wait, Darren and Cassandra run out the door and to the taxi, just in time. When they next return to the household, they will be a newlywed couple. Here we are at the Goth wedding venue. Even though I know Cassandra must be feeling ecstatic right now to marry her true love, I can't help but wonder how excited Darren must be feeling. Cassandra takes her time to call up all of her nearest and dearest and, in Bella's case, familial friends, and happily waits for them to show. One by one, they arrive at the lot to witness Darren Dreamer's and Cassandra Goth's wedding day. Cassandra rushes over to greet her father, who has strangely arrived with both Bella and Dina in tow. Whatever you're plotting here, Mortimer, I don't think it's gonna work. Cassandra even gives her mother a hug. Maybe today's the day they can start rebuilding their relationship and... What the hell? That's not good. Bye, Bella.
Bye, have a great time.
With that mind out of the way, the guests make their way over to the champagne bottle, where John Burb has proposed a toast to the very soon-to-be married couple.
Aparaense, Agodonj, Adivia, and Adonje, Ermago.
Truer words were never spoken, John, my man. Well, it's time. It's time for Darren and Cassandra to tie the knot once and for all. And this time, Cassandra feels as though this marriage truly is forever. I think so too, Cassandra. I think so too.
Ibsen,
Det var det.
Marfison, Le Fratamla Kino,
Hvor på det lave måne.
Oval, Ibatsa, what?
Hvad var det?
Cassandra and Darren are now happily married, and it's time to choose the family name. Thank you to my subscribers for the suggestions to keep Cassandra Goth a goth. I, for one, wholeheartedly agree. She is the heiress of the Goth legacy, and Darren would be more than happy to share that legacy with her. And so, I now pronounce them Mr. and Mrs. Goth. May there be many happy years ahead for both of them. But now, it's party time.
Gazuva. Woohoo. Osak. No! But you la.
And what a party it turned out to be. Fly high, Cassandra. Most of their guests have already gone, and it's gotten quite late in the evening, so Darren decides to call back the taxi to return them home.
Oh, Zakufnu.
As soon as they get back, they all head inside and up to their beds. Even though the sun may be shining here, in reality they stayed out until quite late in the evening, so now they are completely exhausted. A few hours later, Cassandra begins waving me over to show me her brand new baby bump. She is placed on leave once more to take care of her newborn and her unborn. This poor woman is never getting back to the science lab, is she? That little bit of sleep did nothing for Cassandra, however, so she decides to curl back up with Darren in bed until her energy is restored. Dirk and Darren awake after sunset, and after taking care of some of their needs, it's time to take care of some of their wants. Darren wants to gain his final skill point in creativity, while Dirk wants to gain his second. So, up to the music hall they go, father and son building skills together. After all this time, Darren is still head over heels for his now wife Cassandra. Aww. Speaking of Cassandra, she has awoken from her slumber. Still pretty groggy, actually. To fill up some of her hunger with some more bread, of course. So far, so good. Ugh, come on, Rudy, give me a break! Darren reprimands him promptly for me, and we can see that Rudy is very close to a new learned behavior. So close to no more destroyed couches and sky globes. A little hungry baby begins to beckon, and Darren heeds his call, appreciating his older son's rising creativity levels on his way up. Out of the cribby you go, little guy. Darren fetches him his bottle and... What the hell? Oh. Well, I guess she's not doing so well after all. Now that Damian is all filled up, Darren notices something else that's filled up and trots him back up to his room to change that smelly diaper. A little poof of powder later, and Damian is all fresh and smelling his best. Damian is put to bed just as Cassandra is, and Darren and Dirk follow suit. Since the baby has awoken throughout the past few nights, no one has really gotten much of a sleep around here. But now, with Damian curled up sweetly in his blankets, this household can finally sleep easy. And that is where we leave the Goths today. Cassandra and Darren got married. They also managed to get pregnant once again. And about that disappointing spooky day party, well, there's always next year. And now that she's married to Darren, Cassandra knows that he'll be right there with her every single time it comes around. Thank you all so much for watching. Please be sure to give this video a like if you enjoyed it, leave a comment for any questions or suggestions you might have, and subscribe to the channel if you want more juicy Sims 2 drama in your daily routine. Be sure to join me for episode 12 when we head over to Don Lothario's old and improved bachelor pad. Now that he's single and more than ready to mingle, where will life end up for Don? Will he ever learn to settle down? Or is he destined to be Pleasantview's Casanova for the remainder of his years? Check back in soon to find out. Until next time, guys. Bye!